Power for Living with Bishop Dale C. Bronner.
There is a dominant gift in your life because a man's gift makes room for him and brings him before great men. But you cannot operate in your dominant gift if you don't know what it is, because you've got so many other ones. It is really hard for multi-talented people, multi-gifted people. It is so difficult for them to say, which one of these do I actually declare as my dominant gift? I mean, which one is it? Who am I? What am I really supposed to have? Well, I want to share some things with you here that I hope will help you just a little bit in being able to bring a little clarity to you. But the real gift that makes room for a person is not the one that you possess. It is the gift that possesses you. It is the gift that possesses you. What is it that possesses you to the degree that it'll talk to you in the middle of the night and tell you to get up and work on it? What is it that you have in your life? It's one thing for you to possess a gift. It's another thing for the gift to possess you. Because that gift will then get you up in the middle of the night. It will interrupt your thought patterns in the middle of the day, because you'll start thinking about it and how I can expand this and make this better and stronger, because your dominant gift, it is something that you don't merely have. The real gift has you. When you get a gift, that gift really becomes your calling. You didn't call yourself to it. You were arrested by the call itself. And so I'm not a person, I don't have a vision. A vision has me. I see it when I don't want to see it. I hear it talking to me when I don't want to discuss it. And so when you really possess a gift, that gift honestly possesses you. You become the puppet on the string, and the gift says, give me a way to express myself. And it will express itself through you, and you'll find yourself moving and operating through that dominant gift. But you can't give expression to the dominant gift if you don't know what the dominant gift is. But what is it that you have that unless you do it, you'll be unfulfilled in your life? I mean, if you didn't do it, if you didn't express it, to you, life would not be worth living. I mean, what is it? I know my wife, who's our minister of worship and the arts here, she tells me that life would just be so bland, like it would be without color if it didn't have any music. Well, I wouldn't die if I didn't have any music. That's not my dominant gift. So if I lost my hearing, I'm okay, because that's not my dominant gift. But if it were, and if I lost my hearing, I'd be in a real pickle. I just left a prophetic meeting in St. Louis. The anointing hit one lady. She was hearing impaired. She picked up a flute, and one of the most precise flautists that I have ever heard in my life. Because when your dominant gift is alive in you, even if your hearing diminishes, it will not stop your gift. Beethoven went deaf before he could finish all of his composing, but it did not stop his ability to compose. When you got a dominant gift in you, you don't let the obstacles of the little things that happen to you in your life be a setback and said, well, I guess I'm washed up in this particular area. In fact, you will be challenged in the very area where your gift is. If you are anointed to sing, you'll have the worst trouble in the time with your vocal cords. If you're anointed to play, sometimes some will be threatening to happen to your fingers. You'll be surprised. Let me share this with you. May I give you an alliteration? I was going to give it to you anyway. It's with D's. The first one is declaration. God will do nothing except he reveal his secrets unto his servants, the prophets, so that the prophet then declares it. A thing has to be declared. You declare it. You declare it. There must be a declaration of it. The moment that you declare something, you begin to set your will in a particular direction. You speak it forth. Jesus taught us the principle in Mark chapter 11 and verse 23. He said, you shall have what you say. Your tongue is a steering wheel to your body. And with the words of your mouth, you put things in a certain direction when you begin to speak. Whatever you don't want in your life, don't speak it. Don't speak it. Don't speak it. Listen, we make the mistake of saying what we have. Jesus didn't say what you have. Jesus said you shall have what you say. That means you have creative power in your mouth. There's a miracle right under your nose. It's in your mouth. Use the power of the word to speak it and declare it out. A thing decreed shall be established. But if you don't ever decree anything, nothing will ever happen to you. You are only committed to what you confess. You are only committed to what you confess. That's why if somebody's going to do something, let them say it. Because a man's word is still his bond. I shouldn't have to get a legal contract from 10 different lawyers and have these folks. Listen, if you have any integrity in your heart, then a man's word is still his bond. Because if we've got legal contracts, and if you told me something with your words and you didn't honor it, I will never respect you as a person of integrity. And so there must be declaration. But after you declare something, if you start telling people, I'm going to have my own business, I'm going to go into music business, I'm going to go full time. The minute that you make a declaration, sometimes all hell breaks loose. So the next step is distress. Declaration, and declaration will lead you into distress. The minute that you start talking about what's going to happen for you, your life comes into distress. The minute you start testifying about how the Lord bless you, here you come, and that word is tried in your life, and your life comes under distress, and it follows the declaration. That the moment that you begin to say that the violent, you know, the kingdom of God suffereth violence, and the violent take it by force, and you're all bold and making all of these declarations, then all hell breaks loose. And you'll just testify to the glory of God, how God bless you, and then comes the distress. Declaration and then distress. Have you ever opened your mouth to declare something, and then before you could get those words out of your mouth, good, that your life had entered into a distressing period? It's not about what you do in life, it's about what you become in the process of what you do. Success is a journey. It's not a destination. It's a journey. This thing is a journey. We're taking a journey through life. And so learn to have joy in the journey. Learn to every day to say, I'm going to have a victorious day. After you declare that, you're going to come under distress and run into traffic. And that will develop your patience. You have need of patience. Patience. You don't get developed unless your life comes under distress. And sometimes the distress that comes into your life, you'll think it's the devil and try to start praying against it and rebuking the devil, and God does not answer that kind of prayer. God is not interested in your comfort. God is more concerned about your development. And so he wants you to be developed. Declaration will lead you into distress. Distress brings you into a process of development. Development, God wants you developed so that he enlarges you, so that he grows you to be bigger than what you were. Listen, remember that life is lived on different levels, and it's arrived at in stages. And just say that you're a level 3 person and you're dealing with a level 5 problem, but you're a level 3 person and your problem is a level 5. And so your problem is bigger than you are. And so now you're struggling. But here's the truth of the matter. Your problem is fixed, but you're not. You have the ability to grow. And through the distress that this level 5 problem is bringing to you, and you're level 3, now you can develop yourself and become a level 4, a level 5, a level 6, a level 7. Now a level 7 person looking down on a level 5 problem says, it's no problem. Because you're bigger than the problem. Our issue in this world is not that our problems are too big, it's that the people trying to solve them are too small. So you can grow. So if you ever need to grow in life, God will bring stress into your life. It could be bill collectors. Stress. I was enlarged when I was in distress. There's a declaration. The declaration will bring you into distress. The distress brings you into development. And then the development will ultimately lead to demonstration. That now you come to a place where God will showcase your gift. Your gift is not ready to be showcased unless you have been in distress and unless it has been developed. Don't think that because you have a gift that it is as maximized as it can possibly be, because it is not. The only place that you start out on top is when you're digging a hole. So your gift, even though it is a gift, gifts can always be sharpened. Even a dominant gift in your life, it is not as good as it can get. Your gift can improve. You can actually strengthen, work on your gift and improve that particular gift. Why do you think Paul told Timothy, Timothy, neglect not the gift that is in thee? But he told him to stir up the gift of God that's in you, because if you don't stir it up, it will begin to diminish. You gain by using. You lose through disuse. You gain by use. You lose through disuse. You gain and increase through use. You lose and decrease through disuse. So he says, stir up your gift. Stir up your gift. Stir up your gift. Stir up your gift. The more you stir it up, the more that thing will flow out of your life. Pablo Picasso said this. He says, I paint what I think, not what I see. He was expressing his thoughts in his paintings. They were his thoughts, not his visions. They were his thoughts. He expressed his thoughts. What I'm doing right now is expressing thoughts. If you can't think it, you can't do it. If you don't think it, you'll never see it. You have to think it first. And then there is a demonstration of what started internally. You demonstrate to the world what you've already conquered on the inside. When you conquer, the greatest battles are waged within the self. When you deal with the man in the mirror, the little boy, the little girl on the inside, who's never been properly addressed, if you just sit them there and never exercise them, they'll never grow. And the same wound and the same offense and the same hurt and the same fear and timidity that is in that person, that stayed there, is right at that same level, because they've been put in a room, kept locked away, and they never grow. But when you grow the thing up by confronting it, it's all right to even shed tears. When you shed tears, you rid yourself of toxic emotions. When you look at the truth, a compassionate person with a heart who looks at truth will shed tears. It breaks my heart to see the condition of some things that are in our world today, and I do not weep because I am weak. It is a sign that I understand truth and I'm in touch with reality. I understand this, and it purges out of me. It serves in a wonderfully cathartic way to purge out of me negative things that can weaken me if I don't express it. And you don't understand how terrible the atmosphere becomes when you're around people that have stuff on the inside of them that they don't know how to express. One of the worst things that a woman can do is to get a man in her life who is frustrated with who he is and doesn't know how to work out what he feels on the inside. It agonizes everybody around him, and the frustration that he feels with himself is then projected off on all of those who are around them, because there's nothing worse than to be around somebody who is frustrated because they can't make anything work for themselves. And so there's always a declaration, and the declaration brings us into distress, and then the distress causes development, And the development ultimately will lead to a demonstration of a gift. So your real gift happens to be the real person of who you are. It's about the real person of who you are. Now, I want to share some simple things that will help you to understand how you locate or recognize your dominant gift. Number one, and these are not necessarily in the order of importance. This may not sound real deep and spiritual, but finding the will of God in your life is not always deep and spiritual. Here's number one, trial and error. You try something, you realize, I am not cut out for this. This is not my thing. This is not my thing. You tried, and you realize, no, you don't want to do this. You don't want to do this. That's I know what my strengths are and I know what my weaknesses are. And there are certain things that are my weakness. I would be a fool to try to make that my dominant gift. You try some things and it's like, how do you do that? How do you do that? I have a hard time trying to find, when people are doing the electric slide. That's not my dominant gift. I'm like, how do you do that? Hear me carefully. Leave the comfort zone, but don't leave your gift zone. Leave the comfort zone, but don't leave your gift zone. You can still be in your gift zone and still pull into something that is totally uncomfortable for you. But stay in your gift zone. Stay in your gift zone. Let that be a goal. Stay in your gift zone. So sometimes just through trial and error, trial and error, trial and error. Some of you all know that you are not meticulous people, so you are not cut out to be an accountant. You're not detailed, and so you drive yourself crazy looking for 10 cents that's out of balance on a report if that's not a strength in your area. That's a strength in my life. Other folks, they don't have the grace for that. They get disturbed just by details. It just drives them up a wall, and they just don't like to deal with all of that. That's not their strength, and they realize that from trying to balance that checkbook, and they bounce checks repeatedly. Over the years, they've just been overdrawn because they don't keep records, because they're not diligent, because that is not a dominant gift. So sometimes your trial and error will just let you know, listen, no, that's not you. And even if you do have an entrepreneurial call, you realize that your entrepreneurial call is not for you alone. That you've got to team up or partner with somebody who has a strength in the area of your weakness. And it is through partnerships. You don't have to do everything. Listen, you have to find creative ways to be able to accomplish the overall vision. You don't have to be a jack of all trade and master of none. You ought to master what is your dominant gift and team up and partner with people that have integrity, who have complementary gifts of what you need in your life, that they can supplement you or complement some of the gifts and graces that are in your own life. But you'll discover a lot of that just through trial and error. Trial and error. That's number one. Number two is the counsel of others. You can get oftentimes an understanding of your dominant gift through the counsel of others. Let me just tell you this. Sometimes the best mirror that you can have are your friends who really know you. Because oftentimes the people who know you the best can see things in you that you can't see in yourself. And somebody else close to you might tell you, you know what, girl, why are you doing this? You ought to be doing such and such. And you don't even recognize that this is a dominant gift in your life, but other folks recognize that this is a dominant gift. You've been treating it as an avocation, and other people recognize it in you as a vocation. So sometimes the counsel of others who are close to you, that know you and understand you, can recognize readily your dominant gift. So use other individuals to help you to locate that. Number three, use these personality tests. Whether it's the DISC module, there are various different kinds of tests that will tell you what kind of personality you have and what your gifts are in various particular areas. So use personality tests. Number four, your personal experience. Your personal experience. if you allow your mind to reflect on the things that you have done and what was most rewarding to you. What is rewarding gets done. You know, when I go into a person's house and if dishes are piled up and clothes are piled up, I don't just immediately say to me, what a lazy slob. That's not always my first impulse. My first impulse is that obviously washing dishes and washing clothes is not a very rewarding experience for this. Because whatever is rewarding to you gets done. Whatever is rewarding to you gets done. So let your mind run back through your own personal experiences and ask yourself, what is really rewarding to me? What was I doing at the time in my life when I felt most fulfilled? What brings me the greatest joy? Let your mind reflect over experiences in your life and see what was some of the most rewarding time, what was the most fulfilling time in my life, my greatest joyous time. What was I doing during that time that brought great joy into my life? And then number 5, seek the face of God. Seek God's face with everything that you've got. Seek the face of God. Not realizing what you want is a problem of knowledge. Not realizing what you want is a problem of knowledge. Not pursuing what you want is a problem of motivation. Not realizing what you want is a problem of knowledge. Not pursuing what you want is a problem of motivation. And not achieving what you want is a problem of persistence. Not achieving what you want is a problem of persistence. And so there are certain things that we really have to be able to check ourselves and see, is this something that I really want to do? What is my dominant gift? And let me tell you this about your dominant gift. Don't be afraid of your dominant gift leading you into lonely places. Don't be afraid of your dominant gift leading you into lonely places. Because focusing on your dominant gift will require dedicated time. It will require dedicated time from your life. Dedicated time. Let me share with you some obstacles to your gift. Just a couple of obstacles to your gift. Self-centeredness. Self-centeredness. See, there's a wider horizon in God and in others. So if you're self-centered, your gift is going to be prostituted because your gift is not primarily for you. Your gift is through you. And if you make your gift all about you, your gift is the way that you serve in this life. It is the thing that gives meaning and purpose to your life, but your gift is not for you. Your gift is for someone else. Number 2, resentment. Resentment is an incredible hindrance, an obstacle to your dominant gift if you're resenting somebody else for being where they are. And it's like, dog, they shouldn't be in that. I don't know why they gave them that position. That should have been me. They got the lucky break. That should have been me. And because you're negative, hating on somebody else, you know, nobody's going to give a hater a break. They hear you hating. Nobody wants to hire a hater. Nobody wants to marry a hater because you're going to end up hating them. Love forgives. Love forgives. And so folks that are filled with bitterness and resentment, it hinders their gift. Sometimes you got to be healed to get stuff out of the way so your gift will flow. There are some people in this world, some cantankerous people, that can do some things that make you just really not personally like them. Now listen, God never commanded us to like everybody. He did command us to love everybody, but you will not like everybody. Take that from me. That's a prophecy. I'm telling you, you will not like everybody. You got to love everybody, but you won't like them. Here's another hindrance to your gift: anxiety. Anxiety. Anxiety, as you know, is a form of fear. But faith trusts. Faith trusts. So you have to get over your anxiety. In fact, if you are all tensed up and stressed out, your gift won't flow right. Anxiety inhibits the flow of your gift. You can see somebody. Have you ever noticed, like when you have a kid that can do something, they do it all the time at home, and then you get out in front of somebody, you say, go, go, baby, show Uncle Joe here what you can do, baby. And they don't really know Uncle Joe like that. And so they freeze up because there's anxiety there, so they won't open up. They got to get comfortable around Uncle Joe before they'll just open up and let their gift come out. Most people some of the most gifted people in the world are actually in a strange way shy. And so they have to get over that anxiety in order for their gift to come through. And then here's another hindrance to the operation of your dominant gift is guilt. Because of something that you've done wrong, the feeling of inadequacy will disqualify you from the race. Your own sense of guilt. It is so much easier for us to feel that God has forgiven us, but we have the worst time in the world forgiving ourselves. If you do something that you know is displeasing to God, and then you miss out on a job opportunity, you will feel that it was justified because you feel like you are paying for sin that Jesus already paid for. And your guilt will snatch away from you the feeling of being able to get the job done. We're just talking about your dominant gift, how to recognize your dominant gift, how you recognize your dominant gift. And I know that there are some gifted folks in here, and many of you, your gift is lying dormant. And I want to teach you next time how to really activate and stir up that gift of God that is within you.
Thank you for watching Power for Living with Bishop Dale C. Bronner. Until next time, God bless you.